Hello friends, I am Alice Mishra and we are going to discuss the syllabus of civil services with respect to the study of economy, and this way we'll try to decode economy especially for the civil services examination as well as for the similar examination being held in our economy in our country. Like many state governments, have adopted the similar pattern like Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and might be more. As far as UPSC is concerned, I know it is one of the most prestigious examination of our country. The most, some people are saying that it is also toughest examination of the country. Though I do not agree with the. This is the toughest one in the country. It depending on your approach, depending on your strategy, depending on your planning, depending in what way you are going to be guided properly. So what I have realized in the last 18 years of my experiences studying, teaching for civil services, that it is not so tough. It depends on, even I have seen that even a mediocre student, so many mediocre students, because I just came across a lot of students, even they got second division, third division in the BA in their graduation, but even after that, they cracked in very first chance. So I can't say that uh, it's very tough. But overall, you'll have to follow certain discipline. Your strategy must be foolproof. In what way you are going to be guided. So all these issues we'll discuss here, and keeping fact that nothing is tough on this earth. Anyone could compete anything. So this examination is nothing. You can do it very well. You can crack it very easily. Okay. So this kind of fallacies must be removed from your mind. Okay. So we have be always positive for any kind of effort we are going to, and we are going to start. As far as this examination is concerned, certain parameters, certain rules must be followed. You must be consistent, you must be dedicated, writing practice. Okay. So in this way we are going to decode economy for the civil services economy examination. Here on your screen, the syllabus of prelims examination is reflecting economic and social development, and these are subcontents of this topic: economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, social sector initiatives, etc. This syllabus for such a big exam is looking very short, but the reality is that a lot of things are not reflecting here. We know the reality. When we compare the syllabus with the questions being asked in this examination, you will be surprised. Generally, weight of economy in the prelims examination in first paper out of 100 questions have been 15 to 25%. Even in 2019, there were 25 to 27 questions only on economy. So you can imagine. In fact, there is one of the uh, strategy of UPSC. They do not allow any aspirants to have a pre-decided mindset. That the pre-decided mindset means, suppose you can't say that this year if there were 25 questions, next year there will be only 25 questions. No, depending on the strategy, it's a challenge for UPSC that how to select the serious candidates. So as far the prelims examination is concerned, is not only for selection, rather it is for rejection, those who are not serious. Okay. So when you see the question paper, hardly 4 or 5 questions based on this the terms that has been given here. But the major part of your prelims question based upon what is not reflecting here, that is on basics and foundation, and we give too much focus on the foundation and the basics, because without having proper study of the basics and foundation, we cannot go ahead, we cannot go forward. That is just like the foundation means foundation, without, unless and until your foundation is strong, we cannot do anything substantial. So we'll give focus initially on the foundation and the basics. Once your basics will be stronger, economy will be looking very easy. You will be comfortable to go through the newspapers. Studying newspapers is inevitable, and in this way, you can easily handle the questions on economy. Broadly, as far the economy is concerned, two types of questions are asked, either relating to basics or foundation, and second, on the current affairs. You cannot handle the questions on current affairs without having proper knowledge of the basics. So both are complementary to each other. So we will do all these things in our classes in the same manner what I have done earlier. And I, in the competitive field, there is no guarantee. So I am not giving you any guarantee that if there are 25 questions, you will be certainly solve all the question. But out of 20, around 18, 20 question could be easily solved if you follow the path and follow the guidelines what we discuss with you. So apart from this syllabus, what is necessary for this examination, not mentioned here, will be also discussed. Okay. As far as the prelims is concerned, mains is concerned, in mains examination is the real test, you must know. Mains examination is the real examination to crack and to become IAS, because this is the examination that decides your score, and that score, your score decides your result and your rank also. Okay, and main syllabus is completely defined, and in the last 5 to 10 years I saw that 5 to 10 means in fact new syllabus we are going to discuss, it was incepted by UPSC in 2013, and thereafter there is no change. Okay. So syllabus is completely defined. I didn't see any question in mains examination beyond the syllabus. So the first discipline that we should follow to cover up the syllabus in a pragmatic way, in an applied manner. Okay. As far the syllabus is concerned, it has been mentioned in the GS General Studies third paper, economic development. This is the single term that has been mentioned there. And along with the economic development under third paper of means GS paper, there are certain more topics: technology, biodiversity, environment, security, and disaster management. These are generally discussed by another teacher, another faculty, those who are expert in these areas. Here we'll discuss only on economic. Uh, there are 10 major topics have been mentioned under general studies third paper of economic development, and it has been given here: Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development and employment, inclusive growth and issues arising from it, government budgeting, major crops, cropping pattern in various parts of the country, different types of irrigation and irrigation systems stories, transport and marketing of agricultural produce, and issues and related constraints, e-technology in the aid of farmers. Fifth, issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies and minimum support prices, public distribution system, objectives, functions, limitations, revamping, issues of buffer stocks and food security, technology missions, economics of animal rearing. Sixth, food processing and related industries in India, scope and significance, location, upstream and downstream requirements, supply chain management. Thereafter, land reforms, effects of liberalization on economy, changes in industrial policy, and their effects on industrial growth. Ninth, infrastructure. There are many topics here: energy, ports, roads, airports, railways, etc. 10th is investment models. These are the main topics that has been clearly mentioned under the syllabus. And when you compare the syllabus with the question paper, uh, almost all cost questions will get from the syllabus. So our prime focus would be to cover up the syllabus properly. Okay, for prelims and mains both. But as far as this paper is concerned, in the second paper, though second paper not for economy, but there is a portion in second paper, governance. Governance is a very bigger part and very extensive part of the general studies, and it covers different subjects, you can say. So it is governance is a topic, is a interdisciplinary topics. So some question I have seen also depends on economy, based on economy, and there is no specific study for that. So a study of economy would help you to get some question even in the second papers. Okay, and I think one and two question always based in the second paper, and these are the areas that has been mentioned clearly under the syllabus of the second paper: government policies, intervention for development in various sectors, and issues arising out of their design and implementation. Based on this syllabus, I have designed certain chapters because uh, the study of syllabus, knowledge of syllabus is inevitable. Why? Because when you study anything, syllabus must be always in your mind. That will decide your, because these are the principles, guiding principles. These are the constitution of your study for a particular subject. Based on those syllabus, I have just decided some of these sub chapters, and in class in our study, we'll discuss all these chapters gradually in the same sequence to make it easier and to make it viable. The first one is financial system, divided in two parts: money and banking or money market. B, capital market. Second, accounting of national income. Third, inflation. Fourth, external sector. And you will be surprised to know these first four chapters nowhere directly mentioned either in prelims or in main syllabus. But every year you'll get majority of the question in prelims from this sector, especially from financial system. So we cannot avoid them. We cannot uh, neglect them. As far the financial system is concerned, you'll get 4 to 5 question every year. That's the relevance. Accordingly, accounting of national income, GDP, GNP, per capita income must be clear to everyone, and so many other related issues, inflation, external sector. Uh, the core part of your prelim syllabus starts from the fifth chapter, economic and social development, what we just now discussed. Fiscal system and government busting, 5-year plans, resource mobilization. These are the common chapters for prelims and mains and foundation. So generally, we'll cover it through the prelims part along with the mains approach. As far as the agriculture sector is concerned, you saw that the term agriculture was nowhere in the syllabus, but the topics mentioned, various topics mentioned under the syllabus in mains based on agriculture. So I designed separately and will discuss in some different way the different sequence. The land reforms, agricultural prices and subsidies, food securities and related issues, agricultural marketing, food processing, technology mission, use of IT in agriculture, the economics of animal rearing, infrastructure, energy, road, ports, railways, etc., investment models, and industrial sector. These are the chapters we'll discuss in class through our study, through our video classes, through this platform, in a big way, in a pragmatic way, in such a manner that each and everything will be clear in your mind, and very easily you will get all these things. You will understand the things, uh, and your basics, your foundation will be stronger, and this will help you to understand the newspaper properly, and understanding newspaper is the litmus test for this examination. If you are clear, if 70-80% news are clear to you, it means that you are on the right track. And this problem involves properly with the study of economy. I have seen that. I've just interacted across the country whenever sometimes we visit from one place to another also, generally in South India. So thousands of students came across yearly, and they shared their experiences with us. And I have seen that, I have just realized that majority of the students, those who are going to start for the first time, they do not understand the news because they are not guilty for, they are not responsible for that because they don't have the basic ideas. So once something is not clear, suppose there is a heading that government disinvestment policy is going to be changed. So if a person is not acquainted with the meaning and the concept of disinvestment, obviously he won't be encouraged to go ahead. So it's a quite natural thing. It's a, you can say, it's a natural habit of the everyone. So this kind of problem will be completely resolved, and you feel change inside you because each and everything will be going to be imbibed. But as far as the mains is concerned, you'll have to start the writing practice. For practice, once we complete the syllabus, it's better to start with the previous year question papers. And the strategy is that go through the topics from all the sources, whatever you have. But when you write the answer, write from your own side, from your own language, and your answer looks like that it's originally designed. That is the main criteria of this examination. You know, once again I'm repeating. Means examination is the real test, and writing ability is the backbone for the mains examination to crack the mains examination. Once you have improved your writing ability, even you can crack in the very first chance. In fact, many people I have seen that they took too much time to know and to understand what needs to be done for this examination. That's the problem. So must remember, first you'll have to cover up the syllabus. Second, practice the question paper, and daily in this way you learn something. Daily writing practice is inevitable on any topic, it is up to you. And writing, when you write, your expression must be original. Just try to give the recent examples in your writing. As much as your examples will be recent, your answer will be different. Generally, I came to know that the UPSC examiners just try to find out your intellectual traits, means in what way you are different from others. And suppose when you appear in the mains examination, and it means that you are not in front of the examiner, it means your copy, your writing is representing you. So what you will write in the copy, that will be your talent will be reflected through your writings, through the copy, through the mains examination to the examiner. So you'll have to try to teach the examiner through your writing. Make the things easier. Remember, questions are always tough. No question is easy. But try to make it easy. In this examination, no one is perfect. And that's why the top merit is always around 50 to 55%. If you are getting 50 to 55% marks in this mains examination, you may top. And getting 50-55% marks in any examination is not easy task. All of you, those who are attending classes nowadays in Delhi broadly, where we are teaching in big way, I've seen that majority of the students today are having 80%, 90% in their all the academic career. So I just encourage them. So why not you get once again not 80%, only 50-55% marks in this examination? So they say yes, why not, sir? And anyone could do it. So getting 50-55% in any subject is not a Herculean task. But we'll have to be consistent. We'll have to write the answer. This examination and the examiner of PPSC want something different in you. In what way you are different from others? And that would be identified through your writing. So design your answer. Writing answer is an art. Art needs to be developed. No one is artist by birth. So those who are going to be topped and selected finally, they don't have any God gifted nature. They have developed it through their hard labor, through their talent. Everyone is having the talent. Only they have to discover their potential. They have to put their energy and potential into the right direction. That is the basic requirement. So anyone can do. I always encourage each and everyone could appear in this examination and could crack it. As far as the strategy of this examination is concerned, I have selected some points based on my experiences. Uh, Around 15 to 25% weight, I've already told you, means 15 to 25 question are always asked in mains prelims examination. Though it's not fixed, keep on changing from time to time, but this has been the range. The mains examination 100 to 125 marks, means 50%. Third paper across 50% weight. So obviously it play a vital role. Third point is that helps to understand daily newspapers. Every newspaper has particular pace or coverage of economy. It shows the vital relevance of the study of economy. In all the newspapers across the world, you get a certain pace. This privilege is not available for any other part of GS. So you can imagine how much economy is important for you. Second paper also covers one or two questions coupled with the governance. Yes. Fifth point is more important. Some of the essays are often based on economy. There is a essay paper equally important, and carries equal marks, 250 marks. And I've seen that people are getting good marks in essay, and the role of essay and their marks in essay deciding their rank, good rank in their examination. And out of all those essays, one essay generally based on economy. So study of economy will help you to write a good essay on economy also, on essay, and get good marks. Next one is enriches day-to-day economic events. Yes, understanding day-to-day economic events is vital for everyone. Above all, helps to crack civil services examination. Yes, apart from your knowledge, this will help you to crack the civil services examination, certainly. So for the entire discussion, there are certain strategies that is called C3 strategy: core, concept, and current. When you see any question, whether it is prelims and mains, broadly there will be three aspects of every question, either from core or from concept or from the current. So the best strategy to study for the both the examination is that when you pick up any topic, cover up all these three aspects. It's just like a triangle: core, concept, and current. And when you see that, and when you appear in the examination, you will find that the question will be either from core or from concept or from the current, not beyond that. So once you adopt this strategy, this will help you a lot, and is very easily you'll get the question in both prelims and mains examination. Okay. And as far as the books are concerned, generally people ask the what to study. So in fact, there is no fixed books for that. So majority of the problems will be resolved through our discussion, through our class teaching, through our this mode of teaching, video teaching, and the interactive classes from time to time to resolve your doubts. But uh, based on the past experiences, there are certain books, and you'll have to study in a disciplined way, not once, twice, thrice, and revise them again and again. Uh, Collectively, in fact, we cannot distinguish between prelims and mains, though the syllabus are different, examination are different. But it depends on in what way the questions are being asked. If there is a question and there are four options, that will be objective, and this is the prelim examination. If on the same topic, if there is a subjective question, that is the mains examination. And you'll be surprised to know, I have seen that in the past examination, so many questions based in objective in the prelims examination. On the same topic, there is a subjective question in the mains examination, because that issue is so prominent, so relevant, that no examiner could avoid them. For example, in 2015, uh, a very ambitious scheme was launched by the government, sovereign gold bond scheme. You might have heard about that, maybe invested in that scheme, of some of you. Sovereign gold bond scheme. You can check the question paper in 2015. This was the question in prelims and the same question in mains. What is the scheme? What is the benefit of the scheme? What are the problems? So in this way, it's not a tough task to compete it and to crack it. NCERT 11th class and 12th class, only selected chapters. Whatever the chapters we have, whatever the issues we have discussed, only those chapters based on those issues will be discussed. And there is a book from Hyderabad. It's a very simple language, and they have tried to cover up both prelims and mains, what is required for our examination. Though the market is full of with so many books, plenty of books everywhere. So it's a big task that which book is good, which book is bad. So it's very difficult task. Even sometimes I've seen the aspirants, they ask the shopkeeper which one is good. They just get confused because when a plenty of books are in front of them. So this book I saw that, and they are revising the books also, and they have covered both prelims and mains. What is required for this examination? Economic survey volume first and second both. These are available in the two volumes since 2014, and both volumes are equally important for prelims and mains examination. So this will help you a lot. So many duplicate copy and their synopses are also available in the market. But for this examination, I do not suggest you to take any chance, any kind of risk. So try to go through the original economic survey. This is available on the site. Uh, no, at the preceding day of presentation of budget, economic survey is released by the government and available on the internet. And this will be easily available to you. And the same copy is getting printed, being selling out in the market also. So it is up to you whether we are comfortable in hard copy or soft copy, but we'll have to study. Okay. And what to study in atomic survey, and we'll discuss in detail in our study, in the detailed banner study, in our regular study. And apart from that, it's better to take a current monthly magazine. Current monthly magazine, uh, it's a kind of collection to you, and this may help you a lot to cover up the current affairs. For mains examination, especially Yojana and Kurukshetra, these are two government publication, government journals, and I have seen that generally these two journals cover the entire main syllabus. So it's better to purchase and to take from their archive. Archive is also available on the net. So in the last 1 year, Yojana and Kurukshetra must be studied. This will help you a lot, and this could be transformed into a surprising result for you in the mains examination especially. As far the newspaper is concerned, it is up to you. Times of India, the Hindu, Indian Express, it is up to you, and wherever you are comfortable, you can take any one of them or any of two newspapers. Each and every one is reading on daily basis. So in this way, you can start your preparation in a big way. And there are some NB means. Just pay attention here. Regular practice and revision coupled with current affairs is the key mantra for the prelims examination. Yes, regular practice and revision. Remember, regular practice and revision is inevitable. For mains examination, consistent writing practice play vital role. If you are improve your writing practice, your writing ability up to the mark, even in one chance you can crack it. So it is up to you in what way you are going to start the entire syllabus and start with the economy and start with us in fact. And I can hope that there is a proverb that well begun is half done, which means that if your starting is good, it means that half of the work has been completed. So with such a positive mindset, we can start, and from time to time we'll discuss the different aspects and the different strategy, because it's not it's a very bigger issue and very subjective issue. So there is no fixed criteria for that. Okay, so it is up to you. Our purpose is to discover your potential, save your time, save your energy, and to plant your energy and potential in a right direction. Your achievement is yours achievement. We are any coaching as a teacher, we are only instrumental and torch bearer. Okay, but our best wishes are always with all of you. So we can start.